Hi guys, welcome to my review of Path to Nowhere. I was gonna give it 7 days, but as you can already tell, I ended up spending money not because I had to, but because I felt like Path to Nowhere produced a product so much that I liked that I said, you guys deserve some cash, so here you go. Here you go, guys. Um, I am gonna get to that aspect toward like the end of the video, whether this game is free to play or pay to win. But I'm gonna get into that toward the end. Now, I am going to give this game the similar treatment I did War of the Visions, where I'll mention everything that's good about the game, and then I'll mention everything that's wrong with it. So, one of the first things, again, I'm going to start off with all the good stuff and then the bad stuff. So, let's get that started. Okay, first off, I'm gonna start basically mentioning the biggest highlight of this game, and that is the art. The art of this game, not just well within the character portraits, but the world itself, and just how everything is presented is actually very well. It's very well presented. The characters 2D models basically right now, what you're looking at right now is basically what they look like if they were in prison. And then of course they also have their regular attire. This attire is the one that you see when you're in the battle itself. Again, the 2D models transfer over well into the 3D models of the game, which I actually is pretty cool. The other thing I really like, the biggest standout when it comes to this game is that every character feels unique. Every character is different from the one next to it, basically. Some B characters are outshine some A and maybe some S rank characters in that kind of aspect. So I do like that. Does that mean that every character is useful in it like overall? No. I mean there's some characters that are obviously not gonna be worth building. If you guys are looking for that kind of stuff, to look for tier lists, to look for guides. I am gonna make this my main game, so I'm gonna start making guides for this like later down in the future and start showing you guys gameplay about this game. Fortunately, I don't have the stamina, which I'm gonna get to in just a second. But every character feels unique. Every character feels like it does something absolutely completely different from the one next to it, and that's really cool. I really do like that. And there's not that many characters. I think so far there's only like 42, 43, if I recall. I think that's how many characters there are. That's a big standout. Again, for me, I appreciate that. It's not many. Three tier classes: B, A, and S. Easy to understand, easy to follow. Another big standout. Fortunately, I had to turn down the volume of this game because even at level one, it was still very loud. I couldn't even hear myself, so I had to turn it all down. But the music is a big standout. Whether you're idling or you're going to different content, each content has its own, you know, it's got its own audio track. And of course, when you're in the battle itself, the music is actually pleasing to the ears, which is appreciated because you're gonna spend most of your time in battles, whether chapter missions or you're just here to grind real quick. That's basically the biggest standout. Just the music. It's actually very enjoyable to listen to. The other biggest standout in Path to Nowhere is the story. The story is very well written. For the lines that are voice acted, they're very well voice acted. I think that the voice actors did a really good job. One thing I did notice is that there were some kind of like spelling errors and some voice acted that wasn't synchronized along with the dialogue that's being presented. Like a character will say something completely different on voice than what's written. I'm like, wait. I mean, it's almost accurate, but it's like, yeah, there's some mistakes here and there. But I kind of forgave it. I'm like, it's okay. I'll just overlook it because the story still it's still pretty good. I'll say that. Um, when it comes to the farming sections about how much time you'll be seeing yourself spending in Path to Nowhere is that the stamina. I'm gonna get into the stamina like toward later on in a minute, but this game does not want you to be here. It does. It does want you to log in, but it doesn't want you to be here very long. It doesn't take very long to farm a section. So for example, like let's say this. I'm gonna do one raid. I'll show you how fast it does it. If I had a lot of stamina, you'd be able to tell. That's it. I'm done. I'm done. I farmed that one stage. Again, the game wants you to be here, but it doesn't want you to be in here. So I just like, okay, what I need to farm? Gold. Go in, blast my stamina. It takes like 5 seconds to like get a lot of stamina like out the door, and then you're done. Get out. That's basically it. Like just come do what you need to do, then leave. Again, a game that respects your time is a game that actually I can jump on board with because you're respecting my time because and because you respect my time, I'll invest a little bit extra time whenever I can. Okay, like 4 or 5 hours later, I'll come in, I'll log in, do extra stuff, then log back out because you're respecting my time. So I'll definitely I'll definitely respect this game's overall approach to when it comes to how it's how it respects the player, basically. The other type of content, the other type of content within this game is the DC. I really like the DC. I just wish there was more content in it. It almost feels like it's content that they released that wasn't completed. That's what it's like. It's like they released part one of a movie, but or like they released the part one of the movie, but they only gave you half of that movie. It's like, isn't this part one? Where's the rest of it? That's how it feels with DC. I like it. I like the two contents that are available here, but I just wish there was more of it. Uh, I've been trying to look for a how should I say this, a roadmap of this game for like future stuff to come. I haven't been able to find it anywhere. I haven't been able to find a good roadmap to tell me what's coming up in the future. And but it just feels empty. Like I said, like they released part one of a movie, but that part one is really half that part one. If that makes sense. Oblivion Pit's cool. This content's actually pretty cool. It makes you think. It's challenging. It's basically a gauntlet. You can only take characters that you built. There are certain level requirements that are presented to you. For example, I think the first one's like level 10 or 15. You need to have your characters at that level or 20. I can't remember. And it's a gauntlet of 5 stages. And every stage you go in, let's say one of your character dies in one of those stages, you can't use that character on the next stage. Or let's say at the end of one stage, your hit points are half. When you enter the next stage, your hit points will also be at half. It's a nice gauntlet. It's actually a really nice challenge. And then the next one is the Broken Frontline. This is basically almost like a world boss. I wish it did have a world boss because this is almost. I think this is like guild content if I remember correctly, or I don't know if it's tied to your guild. It's pretty cool content. You face the boss 3 times, and each time you face it, the boss gets harder. That's basically it. The boss just get more difficult as you progress through. And it's a nice source of income for stuff. Now, when it comes to other types of content, the bureau, I think that the interrogation system within the game is actually added extra content for each of the characters. I only have these characters here. I'm hoping they start releasing S rank characters later on in the future. Hopefully they do. You can interrogate those S rank characters. But it's so well written. It really is. I really love this content. When I first saw Wendy, I saw her. Oh, she's like this basically like this Harley Quinn type of character and this crazy looking like you know they're just trying to like bounce off that kind of stuff. And honestly, I kind of hate the modern Harley Quinn, so that kind of made me like, it's kind of cringy. Until I saw her backstory of the Undertakers, and it did such a well job of selling the character that Wendy became my favorite character overall because just how well it was written. I was like, wow, they actually took their time to write a compelling story of the character that made you care about the characters, and that's something that every game should try to strive for. Release a game that characters, or I mean that players can get attached not only to the world of the game, but can get attached to the characters and make you care for the characters. And I think the interrogation system actually does that as well. Another system that does that very well is the Mirage system. The only thing I don't like about the system is that the items required to enter, they're scarcely available. So again, if they're planning to add more in the future, and they still have that the scarcity when it comes to that item, it's not gonna be so good. So far, I like it. I was able to unlock two, but if you're planning to add more, make those items a little bit more readily available to the players. That's my only complaint on that. Now, when it comes to other type of content, like I mentioned in this C, I do feel like the guild content is also kind of half baked. It's good content. I mean, it's nice. It does provide extra materials for you to like to get other stuff, but it feels half baked. I feel like it's got a good intentions, but it's not really well made. It feels half baked. I guess you could say I do like it, but I hate it kind of aspect, similar to like some content I'm gonna get into in just a second, where I do like it, but you definitely do drop the ball on this one. I feel like there was like you need more. Like the materials you get for being in the guild are nice, but they're nothing to write home about basically. Again, there's other content here that I can say I really like and I really don't like. I do like this kind of like content over here where I can like come here and get extra materials. Just the material regeneration kind of sucks. Again, it's cool stuff. Sometimes you'll get extra little side stories from the characters, so they're doing something. You gotta like solve some problems with them. I think that's cool. Again, this is like one of those content where I like, but I also hate at the same time. Like the mat regeneration that you get from the sections is very slow. It's like turtle pacing basically, and I wish it was a little bit more, especially as you level it up. Maybe like one of the things I wanted to see is like, is there a difference if I leveled it up from stage 2 to stage 3? There really wasn't much of a difference in how fast the materials were gathering. So it almost felt like this content's good, but it feels it's similar to the guild content. It's half baked. It's good, but you guys can do better than this, basically. Overall, I did mention some stuff that I liked about content and stuff that I didn't like about content. So I guess it was like all the stuff like I said good about the game. Kind of also spilled over to stuff that I didn't like as well. Again, some stuff is good. It's just I wish there was more of it. That's basically it. Um, Now that I talked about all the stuff that I really liked about passing over, I'm gonna mention all the stuff I don't like. So let's get that started. All right, when it comes to overall content within a game, there are some stuff I don't like, and one of the first things I'm gonna be mentioning because I want to mention this right away. The dispatch system sucks ass. Whoever designed the system did not know what the hell they were doing. It takes too long for the materials you're obtaining. I mean, it takes a long time to get the materials that you're trying to dispatch for. It takes some of them take between 8 to 12 hours just to get one of like whatever item they're presenting here. That's all you can get. Some players will say, "Well, it's not bad, you know. It's like it's not affecting gameplay, and you can just leave it on there and then come back later." Yeah, but you can only do it like I think 3 times a day, and two, the materials you get for it, it's almost not worth it. It's like really, like it's a bad system. I actually do hate this system. Again, you got the syndicate, and then you got other extra sections that you can dispatch to. It's just the number of entries you get per day and then the items you get for doing this content, it's almost like, dude, why is this here? That's how it feels. Like generally, like it's good items, generally good items, but you don't get enough for the amount of time that this content requires you to kind of wait for it, basically. So it's just the design of it is just really bad. Again, it doesn't affect gameplay. You can dispatch as many centers as you want. That doesn't mean you can't use them in battle, but it's just they could have designed a better system. If you can only dispatch 3 a day, you could have designed a better system where it only takes you about 2 3 hours. You send your characters in there 2 3 hours, and that's it, and you're done. Why 12 hours? Or some of them is 8, 12. It just doesn't make sense. They either need to rework that or like it's just basically for me. It's that content's garbage. Basically, that's just basically how I feel about it. Now, when it comes to the next thing I'm gonna be mentioning is the stamina. The stamina refill is not bad, but you need so much stamina in order to grind for the stuff that it's in the rust, and also for the story. I feel like the story in this kind of aspect, especially with how much stamina you're required to do a lot of stuff, the story could have used either one. It could have used one of the two. It could have used less stamina because you start using 5 stamina at chapter one, and then you need 21 or 22 stamina, 24 stamina, and towards chapter six. So I was like, okay, so do I continue with the story or do I grind out the rest? That's why I stopped at chapter six. It's like because I needed to grind for extra materials to try to build extra characters, etc., etc. Right? But I felt like they could have done one thing. They could have just kept the minimum stamina requirements for the stories at 15, and just left it at 15 for all the way through. And then of course, okay, you got the minimum requirements of 15. You make it all the way through the story, or you could have had a different stamina requirements for the story, and then the main stamina for grinding and doing whatever else you need. Because again, you have to stop with the story, and the story is good. The story is actually really good, and I have to stop it a lot of times just so I can like get extra materials here and there. I got extra stamina. I need that. I need extra gold, to level up my characters, etc. So again, those one of the things I wish they would have had. Either kept the stamina requirements for the stories at a fixed minimum for all the way through, or to have a separate stamina system for the story, basically. And when it comes to the rust, one of the things that I do like is like one of the things I mentioned. Is like it makes you like it doesn't want you to be grinding here all the time, but this is basically where you're burning your stamina, and that's why I said have a different stamina system for the story, have a different stamina system for the stuff you're grinding, because your most of your stamina is gonna go here. It's gonna go on the gold, the exp, the Parma ruins, nest pollutions. Maybe it's your if, again it does require you to level up skills, so you might see yourself going into the nest pollutions. The stormy memory is the only one that doesn't require stamina, and this is what I meant. It requires a different type of like stamina. You can only enter 3 times basically, but they could have had this for the story. They could have had a completely different stamina system for the story, similar to this. I wish they did that. Or like, okay, you get so many entries to enter the story, check out the story, etc. Or have again, like I said, like a fixed stamina requirements to enter the story. Because again, most of it goes here. There's also kind of plays into a big factor in Path to Nowhere is that it's a very grindy game. And I see yourself grinding, especially for the disc coins. The disc coins, you use that stuff everywhere. You use that stuff literally everywhere. You use it to upgrade your characters, hence when you promote them, quote unquote, level up. You need to level up. You need it to enhance their skills. See right here, you need a lot of gold, and it goes up because it like every time it levels up, it goes up by 1, and it goes up to level 10. And then of course you need gold to level up the crime brands. Where's one that I can actually level up? Level 1, promote. You need gold for this one too. You need the other currency for the crime brands. You need to level them up. It requires gold as well. So that's one thing that you're gonna see yourself doing a lot is grinding for gold. Again, it does make sense in the overall spectrum. They don't want you to get certain currency way too fast over others, etc. It makes sense. And some kind of aspects, you don't want a game that just is basically showering with stuff because again, a game. That's one thing I'm gonna say right now. There's no such thing as a free to play game. No such thing. Well, unless you're playing it absolutely free, but don't expect to be showered with materials. You're expecting to grind a lot for a game, to be very grindy on it, or you can pay for it. I feel like this game is very fair, and the kind of materials it does give you, that doesn't give you a lot, but I do feel like you're grinding a little, way too much for the disc coins and other materials as well, because you do require a lot of materials for different types of upgrades. Again, I mentioned you gotta level up the skills, you gotta level up the crime brands, you gotta level up the characters themselves. The shackles. The shackles. These are basically the dupes. This is a good thing and bad thing about the game. Good thing. You only need 5 dupes for each character. Easy. Bad thing is that of course S rank characters are gonna be either time gated or you're gonna have to. If you don't want to be time gated by it, you can pay for it. But can you get S rank character dupes for free, or they can be pay to win, or I'm not pay to win, but can they be free to play? Yeah, they can be free to play, but they're heavily time gated if you're not getting them from the banners, basically, or if you're not pulling from them. Again, that's another thing as well is that some supplies is very hard to get. I'm gonna show you something right now. Exchange, the exchange one. Rest record. So right here, you can get 250 of these little gold cards in order to get in. Basically, one character equals one shackle. These materials here, you need both, so it's limit 2 per month. So you can only get these monthly, so these are time gated by per month. You can only get 2, and you need both. 2 equals 1 character. And you gotta time gate this stuff. You gotta sell the characters. You want that shackle quicker. You gotta time gate it again. 2 a month. That's time consuming. You can't get 2 more. I can't remember if it was the sample. The sample one here, perfect. This is from the pit. The pit currency that you get. You can also get 2 more right here. I think this is also monthly. And this is monthly. That's 9,000 points. I got 1,470. So this is also something that's very time gated. Again, there's a lot of time gated stuff here that's kind of like a little bit and again, it kind of falls into that grind factor. You're gonna see yourself grinding quite a bit, especially if you're free to play and you're trying to get those S rank characters for free, and you're trying to get their shackles for free. Especially if you don't have pulls, you're definitely gonna be time gated. That doesn't mean you can't get them. It means it's gonna take you a very long time to do so. And that kind of brings up into the overall aspect of this game. Is this game free to play or pay to win? The game is genuinely free to play. I'm gonna say that right now. Again, the only reason why I paid is because for me personally, I liked I liked what they made, and that's something that I'm gonna say to a lot of players. If you like don't let people shame you when you spend on a game. If you genuinely like a game and the you see the company's doing good or they're trying their best to produce a game that's good, um, I believe it's okay. Like for me, I'm not a big spender. I spent $40 in total, and to me that was like to me that was a lot. To me that was a lot. So $40, it was okay. And that's the overall aspect that I'm gonna suggest to you guys. If you guys want well tips, I can ask somebody that gave you kind of like a like well tip, like which is what's worth buying, what's worth not buying, etc. And then of course, if you guys are looking for free to play stuff, the game definitely does have that. Just expect that grind factor when it comes to this game. The game's very grindy. I did mention a lot of content I didn't like. I didn't like the fact that you need discounts for everything. I don't like the bureau, the dispatch. I think is absolute garbage overall. While I was mentioning some of the stuff that I liked, I did mention some stuff that I liked, but I also disliked. So that kind of falls in place to it as well. Um, there's definitely a lot to like, and there's definitely a lot to criticize of the game overall. Again, I just mentioned the stamina system. I just mentioned the other kind of mechanics within the game. Uh, I do like it. I do like this game, but it's not gonna be for everybody, and I completely understand that. I wish I could sell the game a little bit more better in its overall presentation. I wish I had the stamina, but I had to show you how fast it was to farm, so you can see it, that the game actually respects your time. And I keep saying that, and that's actually a big factor to me. Biggest factors to me in a game is do they respect your time, do they respect the player, the art, the music, and then the story. I A must in any game are basically those biggest apples. And that they the number I guess number one should be do they respect the player. So far, it's been okay. So far since released, it's been okay overall in the community. The community is actually pretty cool. I went to their Discord and I was chatting, asking for like some hints, etc. And they responded really quickly. They're very helpful, very kind. So far the community is very kind. It's very cool. If you guys want a link to the Discord, just go to my Discord and I'll give it to you guys there. But overall, the game is cool. Do I recommend you guys playing Path to Exile? I mean, Path to Exile, Path to Nowhere. Do I recommend you guys playing Path to Nowhere? Definitely. It's not gonna be a game for everybody. Again, this is a tower defense game. If you guys have played Arknights or you guys are familiar with tower defense games, you guys know what that kind of style is like. And this game, again, when it comes to the overall gameplay of this game, it's very hard. It's definitely going to be a little bit easier for some players to get into. Well, it's going to be hard for some players to get into. So far, if you guys are playing or you guys are thinking about playing, I like I said before at the beginning of the video, I am going to make this my main game. So I'm definitely going to be providing some guides later down in the future. But for now, if you guys are looking to get into Path to Nowhere, to look at guides, to go look at tier lists, uh, to kind of optimize it, because again, like I said, it's a grind factor. You're gonna see yourself grinding quite a bit. So try to build the best characters at first, so that it can kind of carry you through the story and the extra content. And then later on, if you have the luxury to actually build the characters that you like, then you can do so later on. That should be it. When it comes to Path to Nowhere, I am gonna grade it. I'm gonna grade Path to Nowhere a 8 out of 10. Even though I really love this game, it's gonna be my main game. I gotta be absolutely fair. There's some stuff I don't like about it. There's some stuff that they can actually do a little bit better. I believe an 8 out of 10 is a decent score. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's actually a good game. That should be it for my overall review of Path to Nowhere. Should you play it? Yes. It's actually a good game. It's not gonna be for everybody, but hopefully, if you guys do decide to start playing this game, you guys actually want help or tips, just visit me in my Discord, and hey, I'll see you guys there. I really hope you like this review. If you do, please like and share. If you like a lot, please subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time. Take care, guys.